In this video, I'm going to be going over some extra options with our multi-set routine. So to do this, I'm going to select my method to the multi-set, and we're going over the structured form, which uses the robotic option. In this case, we're going to continue using starting with a number of 1 set, but we're going to change our method to backside on phase 1, then backside on phase 2, then foreside on phase 1, and foreside on phase 2. And I'm not going to worry about the tolerance or multi-set options, so I'll just press continue. So now it's just prompting me which point I'm set up on and what my backside point is, so I'll just press continue and take a shot on my backside. If I'm satisfied with these tolerances here, I can accept and get into the multi-set routine. In this case, I'm just going to use the map selection to select my points. So I'm going to be using point 302, which is a prism. And I'm going to use point 202, which is reflective tape on the wall. Once that's done, I can press continue. And now the instrument is just turning on the back sight on phase 2. It's going to take a shot automatically. And I'll move on to the first prism on phase 1. Now it's going to prompt me to make sure I have the correct target selected. In this case, it's not the reflective tape. So I'll just go in here, change my target to the -30. Press OK. And I'll take my shot on the prism. Now that it's done, it's just going to turn on to phase 2 onto that same target and take a shot automatically. Now that that's done, it's going to move on to the reflective tape on phase 1. So now that it's there, I just have to make sure I have the correct target selected. So go into here, change my target, like a reflective tape. Press OK, and take a shot. Once this is done, it's going to start to move on to phase 2 on that target. But we're going to see something slightly different. Now it's asking us to aim the target precisely and then press continue. This is because it's not a prism, it's just a reflective tape, so it needs to make sure that the centering is correct. For this demo video, we're going to assume that the instrument is centered on the target. Once that's done, it just turns back onto phase 1. So that you're ready to continue working. So I can view and manage my observations, and can see all my information here. If I wanted to, I can select this one here, for example, which is the reflective tape, and review and manage data. Here I can see the different values taken from phase 1 and phase 2 on the first set. Close this. If I want, I can also add sets. In this case, I'm going to add 1 set to this multi-set function, and I'm going to use the robotic mode. So I'm just going to say yes. So now it's just going to turn to my backside, select the correct target, and take a shot on phase 1. Now in this case, I don't have to select the targets every time because it remembers it from the first set. So I'll do this for the backside and the foreside on the prism. But once we reach the reflective tape, it's just going to prompt us to make sure that the instrument is centered on the target, and then take a shot. Now it's just moving on to phase 2 on the prism. And now it's moving on to phase 1 on the reflective tape. Again, it's prompting us to make sure that it's centered correctly. And if we're satisfied, we can just take a shot. Again, this is a case where you would go on the instrument and manually make sure that it's centered on the target. But for this example, I'm not going to be worrying about that. So I'll just press continue and take a shot. Now that it's all done, it just turns back onto phase 1 so you can keep on working. So if we review our observations again, you can see now that it has 2 here for both 2 sets. And if I want to change some of this information, I can review and manage the data and toggle off some values here. So in this case, if I wanted to, I can toggle off these 2 if I don't like these values that I'm seeing here. Just turn these 2 off and close. And now it's only using one of the 4 sites on phase 1 and one of the 4 sites on phase 2. If I'm satisfied with all of this, I can just press continue. And now it's prompting me to store the points. In this case, I don't want to overwrite my points, so I'll just type multi for point 302, and the same thing for point 202. Store that. And those are the extra options in our multi-set routine.